All right, y'all, welcome to the Wednesday, July 30th Bookmap stream. We are live. Welcome, welcome. Market just went crazy bullish. We had over $1.2 billion in 0 DTE calls hit the book. They've been pounding the calls aggressively since about 10 o'clock. And of course, once again, the market rallies. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip every day, baby. That is the theme. Buy the dip. And that's what we're getting here. NASDAQ just put in up to 23,527, which was the top side liquidity. They just filled perfectly. ES just filled 6420 to the upside. And then, of course, we have a small little top wick. So, yeah, other than that, man, we've got FOMC today. As everyone knows, we have liquidity up to 562. They shifted this guy up from 519 to 526 up to 531 liquidity. So the liquidity is still majorly stacked to the upside. I would not recommend shorting here with this much pull to the upside. With this amount of call buying, with this amount of liquidity to the upside, unless you have an aggressive top wick with aggressive volume, I wouldn't recommend shorting. Just continue to maintain long biased until all this liquidity is dealt with. The skew is higher, and that is how I like to trade. With the skew, not against the skew. With the skew, baby. We're live on YouTube and Discord in the Bookmap server. So if you have any questions, throw them at me. Right now, it's just following the long side, baby. Following the long side. Gold had a little bit of a bounce. They're starting to roll back over and looking for 3346. Right now we have 1.1 billion in calls. We have NASDAQ pushing hard to 23,530. And then liquidity even higher than that. ES had a whole bunch here at 6420. They shifted up to 21 and even more to 25. So there's definitely a higher skew. Yeah, 46, 47 on gold, somewhere in that area. That'll be great. $64.17. NASDAQ 500 or so. And then they've got all this guy here at 533. Back and forth. Super, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It is a little annoying, but yeah. 23,500 right here. Back and forth. If NASDAQ can bottom wick and clear this absorption, then I would think 540 is probably pretty likely, which is only, 30 points higher. But that would be nice. That would get us quickly into this liquidity touch at 530. That is 20 points higher. 20 points higher on NASDAQ. But they've got to be able to clear. We now have three topics, with this absorption into this area. So we're going to have to be patient, of course, but I definitely would not short until they clear up that skew. That's what I would say. There they go. There they go. Can I see your gold chart? I'm looking at mine, but yours has a nice curve. Mine is chopped up. Yeah. So here's gold right here, 33.58. And this is the 5-minute. Well, I got to switch over my screen. There you go. So there's gold on the 15-minute. Big old move down. bottom wick, and then now they have the red candle back over and another green. So overall, I'm looking for about 33.47 for my long side activity on gold. $64.12 ES NASDAQ still holding the highs. There you go. There you go. Hey yo, what's up, Andrew? How you doing? What's cracking? RTY is heading higher. The Dow is heading higher, so all of the small caps are supportive as well. Platinum is about to break below the range once again for another short opportunity. Have I made any moves yet? No, I haven't made any moves yet. No. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. $23,514. ES is still doing this. Lately, my midday gym session, I miss opportunity. What if I should sit here till FOMC? I wouldn't. There's going to be plenty of opportunity post FOMC, so I wouldn't sit here and waste your time back and forth. Plus, it's the usual midweek lull right here. This midday, midweek, Wednesday. Typically, we have a lot of lull until the European close, and then it does its thing. NASDAQ to 700 this afternoon was plenty of time. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Keep our priorities straight. That's right. Fitness is equal importance trading, baby. The 4 Fs. RTY is still going. The Dow is top wicking and holding. I want gold to retrace into this 33.47. Keep you safe, baby. Keep you safe. They're starting to sell some of those calls on the S&P. They removed some of the upside skews, so they removed whatever this was here at 530, and they removed a way upside here, but still no movement. Still no movement. Still no movement. $23,521 coming up. Yeah, ADBJ. Yep. So that's the adjustment for contracts. So whenever you have a contract roll, you're going to have to click that. Otherwise, you'll show big gaps and crazy price action, and it won't match up. So yeah, definitely. Five two. So here's the 1 minute chart on NASDAQ, and you see exactly what's happening. Just absolute atrocious tight price action. NASDAQ, ES, back and forth. So I'm just waiting for a good signal here. We have a couple of different top wicks right here. I'd like to possibly participate in, but I need it confirmed. They are removing the upside skew. They're selling some of the calls here. We do have some top wicks. We have what some people would call a bearish wedge. So we might have something coming on here. But we'll see. We'll see. Just got to wait for the 3 criteria to trigger, and we'll be fine. Other than that, I'm just waiting for confirmation. It was just me. It was a news today, not as impactful. Usually the news on the day of FOMC is not going to overshadow FOMC. It's going to stay put. The option chain is already positioned for FOMC, and there's not much that's going to move that at all. The only exception would be if the news posting was somewhat significantly skewed from what was expected, which doesn't really happen. So gold's still hovering. I'd like to take some gold, silver up there. Platinum is still down. On down right here. Watch the skew here. Ooh, ES is putting on more down. So now the S&P skew, 6405 and change or so, but we're still grindy. We're still grindy. Thanks, Hal. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, it's good stuff. You're very welcome, Potential. Thanks for the question. Good stuff. Oh, so it looks like we're ending another Wednesday midday lull. Right now, I've got a high volume spike at the 1020 candle. But that's it. No top wick that's holding, and no lower close. Hmm. $64.16. NASDAQ is starting to top wick. We have 600 million in puts and 700 million in calls, so they're trickling back to the negative delta side. And I do think that eventually the FOMC range will play out. We just got to find that range. Other than that, this is just midday lull. We'll have a lot of fun this afternoon. All right, 23,528 still going. Where's gold at? I would really love gold to down tick. Ooh, I might get it. I might get my gold entry. That's the one I've been waiting on today. Will we get it? I won't be able to trade it on my live yet, but I'll trade it on my top step, and I'll trade it on my IBKR. Ooh, big green candle on NASDAQ. Look at that. Blasteroni. See what I expect now. There you go, Pocket. Yeah, definitely. Anyone else babying any trades? Are they taking anything? Anybody long? Or is everybody waiting for 2 p.m.? chilling. I got some calls for work this morning, so I'm preoccupied till FOMC anyway. Beautiful. Wait on goal with you doing some fantasy football mock drafts. There you go. Love it. My short still trigger on GC, but I missed my entry for a reshort trendline test. Nice, Kennedy. There you go. Waiting on gold. 542 possible rejection area. 542 would put us in the support retest area. Not a big one, but it's definitely one there. So it's possible. Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention you got some trend line stuff going on here. And you've got all this liquidity up top. So the skew is still pulling NASDAQ higher to 3,550. It looks like we're having one of those outlier days on FOMC again where they trend instead of chop. That's perfectly fine. Just wait for the 3 criteria and then take a trade. For me, I'm waiting on gold. I missed the one good actionable position I had on NASDAQ, which was that short here at 945. Other than that, I'm waiting on gold. And that's fine, at least until FOMC. After FOMC, we'll revisit and figure out what we can do. Five, 3, 5. Heading to swim lessons, just listening to listen. There you go. Made a little chunk of change on hood. Beautiful. There you go. Got to do what you got to do. Any thoughts on being a pump and dump session? It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. Let's go to this right here was the FOMC. I believe it was the 17th, wasn't it? No, it was the 18th, right here. So this was the outcome of the 18th. We had a very aggressive morning, just like now, and at about 10:45 Eastern Time, which right about now is when they topped, and then it ended up in a lower price. So far, we're pretty much mimicking the exact same price action as the June FOMC. Not questioning, but wouldn't GC's low be 33.08? Let's take a look. Let's come to today's price action. 33.08 would be the low from June. That'll be June lows, but July's lows is right here at 33.47. So monthly lows is still right here. And that again, the bigger the longer the historical level, the bigger the bounce. So and the more confident. So yeah, 3308 would be an even bigger opportunity to long than would be the 3347, but still, we got to deal with 3347 first. Tesla just fell off a cliff. What happened with them? Yeah, they just went down. What happened to them? Got a swing trade on BAC and SPX. Nice. Massive rocket explosion. What, one of Tesla's rockets? Or SpaceX? Top wick on NASDAQ here. All right, if I get a 3 criteria on NASDAQ, I'll take it. But I need to close. ES is flagging. GC is coming down. I want to trade gold. I want gold. I want to know where the gold's at. I was trying to identify market structure versus time-based. No, it's beautiful. It's great. I'm glad you did that. It's good stuff. 10 years coming up. Yeah. Do I think oil's going to 70? This does appear. I mean, look, we have the 69.70 mark. We've got a rejection, secondary rejection, and then multiple small rejections. So this looks like absorption to go higher. That's what this chart looks like right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections off of this level, and they're all getting smaller and smaller. So it looks like absorption for a higher price. Large red candle on NASDAQ. Is this our opportunity to get a 3 criteria trade on? Top of the hour. Saw the video last night. Thought it was last night. Crazy. ES is here. Platinum still dropping. Might be time to put on a secondary trade on platinum if they can break below here. Silver's there. Gold's still dropping. I'm going to set an alert on gold for this right there. ES just dropped. NASDAQ is trying to. This might be it. Let's see. Maybe something worth taking a trade on. I was anticipating a deeper push into yesterday's POC and overnight low before a rally. What kind of behavior you look to see the lows of if the test of the lows of the day is done? Well, if you're looking for a low of the day touch or a low, low target like that, and you see it want to bounce, or if that's it, then you want to see the process of accumulation. So maybe a slight push lower with the bottom wick, a volume increase. The volume increase to me is going to be the most tailing sign. An increase in volume will say, hey, it's time to start looking for a possibility of a long or getting out of a short. No volume, meh, whatever. Top wick still increasing. All right. 512 down to 500. What time frame are you generally looking for the 3 criteria? Either the 5 or the 15 normally to start out with and then go from there. Like right now, this is a beautiful, beautiful little top wick forming into a markdown. Gold is starting to make that move down. It looks like it wants to do it as well. NASDAQ, nice little top wick so far, into 500. Once we take out 500, that's your trigger to move your stop again. Or not again, just for the first time, I should say. Am I referring to the volume bars on Bookmap? Volume in general, whether it be on Bookmap or on TradingView or whatever else. When you see an increase in volume into a downward trajectory, that's your indication that the market has found demand. Volume tells me where the buying is. Volume tells you where the selling is. Or lack thereof. So using that information, you can anticipate where to buy the dip, where to sell the rip, where not to chase a short. Number one fault of the common trader is to short into supports. How many times have you shorted the exact bottom price? This happens frequently. Nice little top wick here coming off. I think we'll get that 500 mark. Gold, baby. Yeah. So with the 3 criteria, you apply that to anything. Now I've kind of tailored it to what we do here, which is anywhere between scalping up to day trades. But you could apply it to anything. In fact, the longer time frame, the better. Now with swing trading, you don't necessarily want to wait for the close. If you're looking for a swing position into a major support or a major rejection, you don't necessarily want to wait for the close. You can, and that'll certainly help your cause. But when you're dealing with a large name, kind of like the 2 names I posted in the 2 trades I posted in the tier 2 channel, is that when you see a monthly, quarterly, yearly pivot be touched for the first time in all year, especially with volume, you don't really need the confirmation of the 3rd candle. The reason why I incorporated the 3rd criteria in the scalping is because trading on the short time frame is inherently unpredictable. It doesn't matter what you do, what tools you have, what experience you have. The market is always going to act a little bit more random, unanalytical on the lower time frames. So if you want to take a good quality, high confidence trade, then you have to kind of make sure the order book is ready to accept higher prices when you're looking long or lower prices when you're looking to short. Especially if you're trying to short a relentless green trend. Otherwise, you're just peeing into the wind, so to speak. We are not expecting a rate cut today from the Fed. Yeah, no kidding. That's what I call some high quality H2O. Another top wick on NASDAQ, which will confirm the move into 500. We now have 640 million in puts and 470 million in calls. So they sold off about 700 million worth of calls there. Any books that help you with swing trading or extremely helpful in your opinion that have you read? Well, conceptually, trading is the same on the 5-minute scale it is on the swing trading scale. Conceptually. So it's really after the longer time frame is all about a management of, it's more about a practice of position management and risk management at that point, because you're dealing with bigger position sizing than scalping. You're dealing with bigger numbers. You're dealing with more patience. You're dealing with longer term holds. So I mean, there's a lot more to it than swing trading, and that's what makes difficult. That's what makes the swing trading part so difficult. Is that you've got to be able to hold a call through a single monster red day, or vice versa, or something like that. So really, the two main books that I always recommend is The Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis by Anna Coling and Trading in the Zone. Those are the two books. If you can read those two books and understand what they're trying to say, I think you could start to refine a good edge. You can start to understand what the market's trying to do. There we go. More red candles. $500 liquidity just tapped. Am I looking to front run gold below 45? I'm not looking to front run it because they may sweep it. But for gold, I'm looking for 47, 46. If they sweep it below that, 42, 43, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, the fact that they've already bounced it once makes me think they are going to sweep it lower. Meta and Microsoft earnings today after the market. Yeah, we do have earnings today. Didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's true. There you go. Large red candles. Coming on down. Right through the top. So far, it's the exact same price action as June FOMC. Run it up until about right now, and then they dump it back over. And all that 500 liquidity just filled on NASDAQ. Fantastic. Fantastic. 3 criteria trade worked out beautifully. Same exact thing as yesterday. Same exact thing as yesterday. It's fantastic. That was nice. Doesn't mean for news posting. Heck yeah, man. Love it. Yeah. 3 criteria, man. That was a great 3 criteria trade. All you had to do is wait for it. That's all you had to do is wait for it. It's all conceptual. Teaching you conceptually what to think about. In my opinion, there's very few systems out there that not only show you where to enter, but teach the individual trader how to think through the setups. So I hope you'll learn something from this stuff, in addition to actually make some money. It's all about critical thinking, baby. Critical thinking is very rare these days. I had a line at 541 old charting, but I have no idea where I got it from. Isn't it great when that happens? Some random line works perfectly. I'm out of here to get regular work done. Triple my daily goal in PL. Beautiful backward. Still coming off all the way down. Beautiful stuff. Now that we've taken out 486, I would roll the stop and select in. Lock in profit. On down. Same thing every day. It's boring making money. It's boring making money. ES just took out the low of the day. NASDAQ is trying to. It's boring making money. ES has already taken it out, like I said. I wouldn't chase NASDAQ down to the lows because now they're just back inside the range. But I will say, so far, like I've already said, the price action is almost exactly the same as June FOMC. June FOMC. On down. Not 11.0. So not the first top wick candle, but the secondary top wick at 516. When we cleared that prior candle, the 3 criteria under, down. And then going for 500. But this is one of those things, man, like 500 was my first target because that was the main skew on NASDAQ. And then after that, I mean, everything else is just gravy. It's gravy train with biscuit wheels, baby. Mashed potatoes and gravy. One and done for me. That's probably going to be it until FOMC. I just ordered the books, use them from Amazon, save money, get education. Heck yeah. And I will say, if you like audiobooks, it's free on Spotify. Trading in the Zone is a free audiobook on Spotify. If you're a subscriber, if you're a freeloader of Spotify, it's not. But if you're a premium subscriber, it's free. Highly recommend it. It's a great reading if you're driving to work. Wicks is flying, yeah. What's the system? My system dictates 3 criteria in order for me to consider a trade. So what if you're looking for a short, if you're looking for a bounce, if you're looking for continuation, you need to first and foremost prioritize volume. Volume indicates activity from the opposite side of the book. On the opposite side of the book. So if you're looking for a rejection, if you see a volume spike, that tells you that the sellers are hitting. If you're looking for a bounce after a downtrend, and you see volume, that tells you the buyers are hitting. And then, of course, you confirm through the visual translation, which is price action. So if you're looking for a rejection, a move up with volume and then a sweeping top wick tells you you've now hit supply. And it starts to give you a qualified entry into a short position. The third mechanism will be a close below the prior low for a short position. And that'll tell you the order book is ready to accept lower prices. And then you use that structure, that whole baseline foundation to, all right, now I can bring in the order flow on Bookmap. I can bring in the option flow from Spot Gamma. I can bring in any other metric you want to bring in to tie into the fact that you've got an actionable signal. And you trade that. There's a 4th criteria that's not really a criteria. It's more of a asterisk, which is called location. In my opinion, location is very important. So the closer you get to a very large location, aka monthly high, low, yearly high, low, quarterly high, low, the more likely I am to take a trade without necessarily waiting for all three criteria to confirm. That's the big stuff. That's the low-hanging fruit the market gives you. If you can literally wait for these big levels, that's the only trades you've got to take. Now, you may only get 3-4 trades a week or 3-4 trades a quarter, but if you can wait for only those trades, I mean, that's almost as guaranteed to profits as I can get in the market. Yesterday's example was primary for me. Like, I know the NASDAQ is going to bounce off of the prior session low at least once. So, I've got a decision to make. I could chase the shorts down, which is low probability in a macro uptrend environment, or I could just wait for a prior session low, take a long, and see what happens. And it worked out pretty well. I mean, that's just, just wait for these three criteria, and trading becomes pretty simple after that. After that, the only thing you have to worry about is managing yourself, managing your emotions, and managing your risk. After that, the decision's already made for you. Any tips on holding through trades and not taking profit too early? I bailed at 23.5 where it hit on that liquidity. Trailing stops. There are too many variables to talk about in terms of trying to white knuckle trades or hold trades for more profit. But it all comes down to trailing stops. That's the way I do it. Because I can tell you to white knuckle hold and just wait for more profit, but what if you're an incorrect entry? What if you're not reading things right? So the obvious answer is you need to have a more structured system, you need to learn technical analysis, you need to get better at knowledge. But I don't know any of that. So the quick answer for me is trailing stops. That's the number one way, assuming you have a good quality system, to hold profits for longer. And even then, 7 times out of 10, you're going to get stopped way more than you want to, or way earlier than you want to. But sometimes you're going to catch a 300, 400, 500 point trend. And that's the point. Still coming off. Gold just hit my trigger, 33.47, coming down. Let's see what happens. I'm going to roll my stop on NASDAQ. I'm coming over to gold. Let's see what we can do. Instant bottom wick already, right where we want to. With volume, by the way. With volume. Let's see what they can do. 1 minute chart. This is a 1 minute candle. Are they going to sweep it? Potentially this could be the biggest trade of the day. Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen with this. But let's see if we can get the three criteria on this candle. The lower it goes, the more likely I am to front run. $33.46. Can we get 42? 43? Lots of volume. It's the highest volume candle of the day, not counting the open. Which obviously it's gold. It's not session, but $33.46. I wish I had Bookmap open for it, but I don't. I don't have it loaded. 45. Interesting, they're killing gold ahead of FOMC. Give me 43. I think 42, I might go ahead and pop in an entry and see what we can do. Put on a little bit of a stop on it. Unless I get a 3 criteria. Highest volume candle of the day. For the NASDAQ entry, was this high volume enough? Is a short entry based on the close of the red bar. For NASDAQ, you had initial volume spike there at the 1030 candle, and that stopped the price action. So it doesn't have to be the exact candle before. We had the high volume come in with the top wick, and that was the stopping volume. That stopped the train in its tracks, and now we have to analyze the process of slowing that train down and getting it going the other way. And that's what all this candle was. Top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick. 5 of the 6 candles there were top wicks. And then the second that breaks the lower, there's your trigger. Down we go. Down we go. Long or short on gold? Long for me. Take more than one contract if you can. Close one at first target. There you go. Yeah. So just go to a smaller product like a micro. Take 5 or take 10 micros instead of 1 mini, and then just leave runners on. Now, obviously, you're going to pay more commissions doing that, but it may be worth it if it's going to help you manage the position a little bit better. What's the 1 minute we got? 1 minute. So this might be the little double bounce here. We have another bottom here. We have a top wick. I think I might go ahead and take an entry here and try it out. We have volume. We have small bottom wick into this area. Again, with these levels, I can guarantee they're going to bottom wick off of it at least once. I just don't know for how far, and I don't know for how long. So we've already bottom wicked. So now it's the point of position management, trailing stops, all that kind of fun stuff. We have volume, we have bottom wick. The ultimate goal would be to get a close over 33.50 or so. Obviously, that's a decent little move here if we can get it to go. But we got to get in there. We got to get in there. It's good stuff. Secondary candle. I'm going to take this one right here. Let's see what happens. I made some nice profits on NASDAQ. I'm going to put it on gold to see if I can get my wick to hold, baby. The ETF follows the futures like SPY follows the S&P. There you go. Can gold be the FTI trade on gold futures? Yeah, there you go. Same. Gold's still holding. We have 870 million in puts on the S&P, 491 million in calls on the S&P. So the market has turned pretty dang red after being very green. That's okay. That's okay. Have you already entered in gold? Yeah, I already took it. I just took it just now. So I am in. We're going to see what can happen. I'm betting that they'll give us a small bounce. And then after they do a small bounce, we'll roll the stop up, and then you take your hands off. So if they do a small bounce and then roll it, so be it. That's just the nature of the trade. But you apply yourself consistently across the same supports and see what can happen. What time is it? It is 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes until the end of the stream. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything as best as I can. As best as I can. NASDAQ is red and coming on down. That trade's already closed though. ES is 6406. RTY. Would you mind taking a look at my question above? Yeah, I already answered that. I think I did, didn't I? Did you post a follow-up question? Let me see. Oh, yeah, I answered that. But yeah, let's go through it. Let's go through it. NASDAQ. So on the 5 minute, right here. Let me change over the screen. Change stream. I need to get my data hooked up for Trade of 8. Live volume analysis. All right. So if you look here, we have the increased volume considering the environment right here. This volume candle. So it's an outlier volume. It's not obviously incredibly high, but it is outlier. We had an indication of supply with a nice little top wick. So at that point, it's just managing the price action. You have the volume, you have the top wick. We have top wick, top wick, top wick, green, smokeroni top wick, and then this candle is your trigger. This candle right here is your trigger. To take out the prior low with a sweeping top wick, and then down we go. Now this is a full confirmed. To compound on all of this, at the time we had massive liquidity at 23,500 after filling the upside stuff. So we had a whole bunch higher. We came up and filled it. Then we came back down and filled the 500. And then this stuff right here is bonus points. Once you fill the 500 liquidity that was on Bookmap, after that it's just bonus points because none of this shit has stopped you out. It blew right through. That was one of those big old sweeping red candles on back down. And then we had a high volume bounce. When it came down to the bottom, we had high volume, a little bit of a bounce, and that's what got me out of the trade. So yeah, and then after, once you enter, it's about managing stops. Once we take out the prior low and sweep low, you start taking out prior pivots, you trigger your trailing stop down. The only time I move my trailing stops is when either one, something happens in the trade that makes me uneasy, like a news posting, a weird spike in volatility, something like that, and or a break in structure. So if my risk parameters change or if the structure shifts, then I move my trailing stop. Other than that, I don't touch it. And then after, you get 341. Don't leave her in the middle of a trade. I have to, unfortunately. It's the end of the stream for Bookmap. So, end of the stream. Which it is 10:30, so or 11:30 Eastern. I do have to call it. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. Hit me up in the channel. Shoot me a DM. Email optionsmillionaire2020@gmail.com. Other than that, we will be back on for an afternoon trading session for FOMC. So I'll come on about 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time, about 15 minutes before. We'll talk through things, see what the setup is, see what the data is pointing to, and try to see what we can do into the FOMC event. Remember, it's going to be a feisty day. I don't start trading until about when he starts talking. So other than that, thanks for hanging out with us on the stream. I'll see you next Wednesday. I'm out. See ya.